I've got my glasses on, but I'm not wearing them because that makes me look like a twat. But so what's the point? But I've got a bloody headache. I've had it for over a week now. Anyway, before we go anywhere, look at my invisible mending. You can barely see I've been at it. My colleague says it looks like I've dropped grated cheese all over the place. So invisible mending. It's my favourite cardi. I'm not throwing it away. Anyway, it's got nothing to do with what we're talking about. I have been, you might have heard, you might not, banging on about water now for a year and a half. There's something about water, and when, I've said this before, when the nonsense happened, I was doing this thing where I'm getting over like a very weird kind of spiritual weekend where a lot of things have happened, and the last thing I can be bothered to do is go and have a shower, so you just have to put up with this. I don't care. So yeah, I've got a headache and I'm feeling I'm in a lot of pain. Standard. So the last thing I can be bothered to do, I went to bed in the same clothes, and woke up in the same clothes, went up the garden and tried to meditate, and all I ended up doing was listening to a pigeon. Their
own primal sound.
Yeah, which is fine. So I'm trying to do that more. But anyway, went up the garden this morning, like lazy sod, still in bed. Got a headache.
Meditating.
No, you weren't. Snoring. So anyway, I'm a bit weary, because of all the opening up of the brain. No, the fuck knows. So I've been going on about. I've been thinking. Because I tell you what, it's just sort of like I was sitting here, like it's all I do, and I was just looking over there, and there was this bottle of water, and I was just looking at the water, and I was like, this was ages ago, and all of a sudden I was like, that's an important thing. That water. I don't know. Something just like came into me as if say there's some answers in that. And so that's when I started doing my talking to the water droplets in the shower and imagining them going down into the blah, 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 positive, going up into the clouds, blah, 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 coming out of the clouds into the oceans, going all around the world. Truth. That was what I was trying to put into the water droplets. Not realising, oh, look, there's an ambulance. Not realising that that is actually a thing. You can talk to water, and it would appear we found out this weekend, water can talk back. And so we talked. We had that bloods taken with Adam Wright. Is it White? White blood cell. Adam okay. White blood cell. I hope you've all praised your white blood cells this morning. If you ever see your white blood cell under a microscope, it's like a little pet. It's like such a cute thing. And guess what? When you're shoving shit in your mouth and you're smoking and drinking alcohol and you're poisoning yourself with sugar like I do, I ain't perfect. Look at the state of it. Even when you're doing all that and you're having late nights and you're just being shit like I've done for 50 fucking years, your white blood cells are like, oh, bloody hell, I'll have to go and sort that out. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, they don't moan. They're just like, hey, oh, it's a busy day today, lads. She's out on the bloody gin last night. Oh, come on, let's go and tidy it. Anyway, they don't discriminate. And they're just brilliant little dudes. And just praise the white blood cells. Anyway, Adam White, I think it's amazing he's called that. Looked at our blood, blah, 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 blah. Now, Mark wants to add a addendum. Dim-dum-dum. To our video about the conference. Not the ASAP one, the Up, Rise and Shine. Up, Shine. Up yours and shine.
You did that, didn't you?
Up yours and shine.
Up the Illuminati and shine. Up, rise and shine. Yeah, well, forgot to mention really, but in some ways it's up there with sort of amazing things that we found out. But Liz will put it up in a moment. But when he was looking at my blood, he found what he describes as a ghost cell. I think it's probably where a white blood cell has, I don't know, died or gone away. But
they are amazing.
But
and left its imprint.
Yeah, it's sort of like a little trace, like a marking. And
Don't mean to interrupt, just to say, this is what he was saying. He was seeing the language yesterday when it was telling him things like this bloke had broke his leg. And there was other, like, it makes shapes. It's like a language. That's what carry on, sorry.
But this ghost cells is something else again, which he said he's not seen before until the last few weeks. So, and I don't think, personally, particularly with mine, I mean, you can make your own mind up when you see the image, what you get from it. I didn't see anything runic or something like that in my particular image that corresponds to a rune that I know. Not that I'm knowledgeable on runes, but I'm just starting to look into it really. But sort of looking back on books, I mean, it sounds a bit childish in a way, but I suppose that's all part of it. But it looked to me on first hit like a little child's drawing of a face that a child might draw. And
I didn't see that.
No, well, I mean that's what jumped out at me. But but on the other hand, as Liz was pointing out, well, it's a triangle in a circle. So I was thinking, there's sacred geometry type things of that, of things which always go over my head, but blow my mind. But I guess maybe in light of the talk on the Bosnian pyramids, where he was going into ideas of sacred geometry and how they were involved with the building of the pyramids, and to me it was like the triangle in a circle. And again, Liz pointed out there's like a smaller triangle like coming out of the top of the big one. It's like a sort of break in the circle. And then I was thinking, again in this Bosnian pyramid talk, he was saying how the pyramids were producing a stream of energy,
scalar waves.
Yeah, from the top of the pyramid.
So scalar waves go horizontal, 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 horizontal. I can't remember the name, but is it a pick machine or something?
I mean,
but there's this bloke who can video the scalar waves. He's dead now, but he made a machine, and that way. But on certain pyramids, the activated ones, the scalar wave will go and then go up, and it just goes up, 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 up.
Just over the top of the pyramid.
Over the top of these activated, that are still activated pyramids. And it kind of reminded you of that, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, in the light of what we'd seen, but what he briefly just showed Adam when he saw my ghost cell, and he was saying, that's interesting because I'm just starting to see this. And he was saying he'd never seen it before, like years past, looking at people's blood, where the sort of like a circular shape with some what looked like markings in this sort of ghostly impression within the blood, and he just sort of showed me and Liz later, like
he actually had drawn circles,
where he just sort of drawn down where he'd seen it on other people's, and other people's more than mine looked he was talking to Liz, like they were like runes, but almost to me was a little bit more like Om, which was spelled Ogham, the ancient Gaelic Irish alphabet, where it's
inscribed
like,
on their megaliths.
It's like lines across from we got this from a lovely guy on the Aran Islands. Yeah, on the Aran Islands when we were in Ireland, and I think this spells love in that in that alphabet.
But the ones that Adam was drawing, he'd seen before. Mark thought they looked a bit like that, whereas I thought they looked like runes.
But either way, they look like
Very similar.
an ancient
Language.
ancient symbols, ancient writing. So, and and Adam was saying he's only just starting to see this recently, and could it be sign of some energy shifting, something going on, which making these come out, and it fascinating. Maybe there's
for a long time. I was saying to Mark for years, I started having these thoughts after my mum died and getting a bit depressed and thinking about reincarnation and things, and it just sort of like hit me in the middle of a coffee shop in Chippenham. Reincarnation is DNA. That's what reincarnation is. DNA. And then me getting into all this water thing, and basically the whole conference in one way or another was about water. It was. Nearly every single person that talked brought it back to water and moving water and vortexes and so then me and Mark were talking about this Adam thing and his blood cells and all that, and what did I said, we talk about the ancestors rising. I was just sitting here, Mark was doing something, looking at this book, and I just had this not like a vision. Well, it was a vision actually. Not a vision. What's a vision? I just had a thought that was pictures. Was that a vision? I don't know. Of the sea and the water, because now I've seen inside my fucking body, and I've seen the water that my white blood cells are running around in, and realise that's why we're all connected. It's the water. And I just said to Mark, the water is getting pissed off. And DNA is our reincarnation. The water is our ancestral memory. And we keep saying the ancestor, like some people say, like the gods are coming back, like Thor and, all that. I think that's the water. Because it's, I even said it's like an animal. I remember 26 years ago being down by the sea with somebody, and it was at night, and it was doing that. And I was like, it's a fucking animal. It's fucking breathing. That wave is like, and I remember saying to this person, that's an alive animal. The water is conscious, and what they're doing with this jibby jabby shit is changing the DNA and killing the water. And also when you're next to EMF and all of this shit, you see that, what's his name? Emoto, is it?
Yeah.
That Chinese guy that, is he Chinese? Japanese. Sorry, racist. Love, hate next to those water molecules, and one's ugly and one's lovely. And the water, because obviously I believe you can't go too far down one road until you have to go back again. And we've gone down the bad, negative, toxin, chemtrails, like toxins in the air, toxins in the soil, toxins in the sea, I don't know, pornography, toxins that we hear, bad. There has to come a point where that shifts, okay? Now, you've got all the yugas that we've been looking at and not knowing what we're talking about, but talk about it anyway. And you get... We know we're coming to a shift. We know we're coming to a change. And when people talk about the ancestors coming back, and I think it's the water. And the water is using the ancient language, like the runes and things like that, or the fucking hell, to talk to us. And all of a sudden you've got this technology where Adam's like looking at it through a microscope, and it's like he said, he's like, Adam said, oh, there's my human, quick, do that. To talk to him. So I think that's the ancestors communicating with us, and I think we should be fucking excited. It's because the water is the biggest I'm going to say living creature. The biggest water, when you think about it, it's inside us, it's inside fucking everything. What is it? The whole planet, including everything, is like 90-something% water or something, isn't it? Most things water,
I'm
isn't
going
it?
to say yes.
I don't know.
It's a lot.
If that's starting to get pissed off, they better watch out. The biggest thing, and it is alive, and it's got a consciousness, and it can communicate, and we're beginning to see this, and it's getting pissed off. They better fucking watch out. I'm going to predict something happening in the ocean. I don't know where this is coming from. Oh, all of a sudden I'm like, I need some fucking purple clothes or something, and a crystal ball, and I need some black eyeliner and something, some fucking face paint. I'm going to be one of them.
Mm.
Give me my hat, that'll do. Oh, look, no, I made a... This will do. I'm making hippie scarves. This one's in the process of being made. So I predict... Tell me if you see anything in the news. Something happening majorly. Maybe it's... I don't want anybody to fucking die, but maybe it's one of those lot that's on a boat and it fucking sinks, or maybe they discover... I don't fucking know. But I've been really obsessed with sharks recently, haven't I, as well?
Yeah.
Something's going to happen, right? And it's going to have something to do with water. Mystic Liz, I'll call myself. The water's getting pissed off. Start loving your water, because the water inside your cells can talk to the water in the oceans and the water in the clouds. They've been fucking up the clouds, fucking up the oceans. It's not us. We don't invent plastic bottles, for fuck's sake. They've been fucking all the water up. Mystic Liz says something's gonna happen.
Because
I can feel it in my water.
Because yeah, I mean it has been coming along, like Liz says, with
And then Mark pulled these three out.
yeah, yeah. Just about to say about those, but what I was going to just say the little bits of knowledge we've been getting along the way, and it's water reacting or being the conduit for energy, and then that rising up or changing things. You know, we were really struck when Andy Thomas was doing his amazing presentation about crop circles at the Glastonbury Symposium. You know, and he put on the map where the preponderance, the majority of them are, and they're in this country, and they were all over an area like around here, Wiltshire, where there's aquifers. There's all this underground water
And moving.
and so possibly that's whether it is something from above that's doing these things, but you know, making the energy patterns, but it's something to do with the water underground. That's why it's happening in that particular area, or giving them whoever the possibility to manipulate the energy in that way to make these patterns. And again, that's a sort of a symbol in circles with designs inside.
Yeah.
You know, that's a giant view of what's happening in these ghost cells.
And it's... So the crop circles are basically what happened inside you, the water... Not all of them, and I think the one like the picture of the alien and things like that. I think they've got some kind of the arseholes. They've got some clever science, and they're putting those in so that we don't realise which ones. The universe is trying to talk to us. The water is trying to fucking communicate to us, our ancestors, and so they're throwing ones in to muddy the water.
Good old muddy waters. You know, and then again before the conference, we stayed in Glastonbury for a couple of days, and I saw this book in the bookshop window and got it, and it's about very interesting about the, you know, again, like the pyramid, about the Glastonbury tour and it being a conduit for energy. And again, he was talking about that it's like an aquifer of all this water under the tour, and all this energy, crystals, very much like a pyramid. What Sam was talking about with the Bosnian pyramids, because they've got water under there, and he was saying how the amazing properties of the water under the pyramid.
Aquifers.
So it's these are giant sort of power stations,
Yeah.
but they're getting the power from the water, if you like, and it's being transmuted through crystals, and it's coming up through the earth into the sky. So, and as Liz said, obviously we're all mostly water. Everything is, so getting that energy through our water, through our blood, and then transmuting
That
it.
doesn't have a roof.
Yeah.
That
Again, it's coming through the top.
like a tube. It's like a giant fucking cloudbuster, because you've got all the water, and don't forget all that amazing iron. If you go to the Chalice Well, like we went in there and I stuck my feet in there, and they say we don't know where that water's coming from. Is it coming from Wales? I think it's coming from underneath the fucking Tor.
Well, he believes so as well, yeah, because iron.
And this thing has no roof. And when it's blimey, we could really go there, but it's about communicating up potentially to. We're going to get really wacky now, but this guy was like saying, I can talk to you about this in this audience. I don't know why he thought we were a bit mental, but especially Mark, stay with him. Potentially, we're communicating with our ancestors. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, something up above.
Because there's a fucking hole in that.
I mean, it's very. I mean, even when you look at that design, I mean, obviously, we're not saying that the Tor is a pyramid, but again, it's that it's like a mound shape. It goes up to a sort of a sort of point, and yeah, they're directing energy from below, where the water inside. There's iron, metals, crystals, and the energy's coming up. And yeah, just when I was sort of looking at runes, because we were looking at my ghost cell image and just seeing if it connected. Yeah. So yeah, I just happened to pull out 3 runes. So just to look at those. So I pulled out. I'm going to ruin this because I'm so sorry. But the one that looks like our X but is phonetically G. So I apologise, Tina, for mangling all this, but just looking at the guides. But that is a gift. It's like an exchange, a passing on of whether it's talent, knowledge, love. So I mean, I was thinking, in terms of our immediate past, we've been to the conference. It's about exchanging knowledge, love, and qualities of linking seemingly separate people in a common bond, or even the human with the divine.
Oh.
And then
we had that this weekend.
And then after that, we pulled out that little baby, which
way does that go up?
I think it's the hook bit at the top, because it symbolises a leak in some aspects, but more importantly, water.
Can't see it.
Water. So Lagu, the 21st rune, preeminently the rune of fluidity. Lagu represents the ever-changing nature of existence. Lagu represents the stupendous waxing power of growth. The leek, as in the vegetable, is known for its enormous power when pushing its way through the soil, and the rune expresses this aspect of irresistibility. I wonder if that's how we get the word leak for a water bursting through. This is irresistible power growth is a fundamental characteristic of matter. The Old English rune poem tells us that to landlubbers, water seems troublesome if they put to sea on a tossing ship. The waves terrify them, and the horse of the sea refuses its bridle. This represents the dangerous aspect of flow, the power of the sea. As water, Lagu is the medium by which passage may be gained, but not without risk. But as with all things, there are two aspects to Lagoo. Although human life cannot be sustained without water, yet we cannot live in water for more than a short period. This balance, the law of the unity of opposites, is manifested in the way that growth proceeds in cycles. This is evident in the growth rings of seashells and tree rings, manifested in Lagoo as the ebb and flow of the tide. You were just talking about that. So, and then the
Which way does this go up?
like it's an F sort of thing. So yeah. So that's the fourth rune, As, known as Ask, Asa, and Anzus.
Don't like these ones. You've got some better ones up there.
Well, it's the one that looks like a.
Let me try and find it in your other ones.
The one that looks like an F. Fourth one down. But
Oh Christ!
again.
Oh, the flowers are falling down.
Okay. Well,
you carry on.
so this is the God rune, signifying the divine force in
This
action.
is mental that you pulled these
Phonetically, it is A, and it's a Sanskrit primal sound. We've been doing a lot of omming, haven't we?
for. Oh yeah.
You were in a bit of an om hug, which brought on the manifestation of this cycle of the universe. It is equivalent to the Greek logos, with all that implies. So we talk about words, language. As a rune, As is represented by the ash tree, one of the most sacred trees in the northern tradition. In Norse mythology, the world tree Yggdrasil, the cosmic axis, is an ash. As is the divine power that oversees the maintenance of order in the cosmos. The ash, beloved of humans, stands high. It holds steadily to its place in a firm position, though many foes come forward to fight it. The old English rune poem tells us. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, that just in my casual little way, I pulled those three out.
So it's about knowledge, water,
exchange,
the exchange of knowledge.
Yeah, water, which is flow, essence of life, difficult, but
the divine,
and logos, communication, the primal beginnings of things.
I'm sorry, but you couldn't make this up, could you? And we're just sitting here in our messy kitchen, not knowing what the fuck we're talking about, and we're still getting it. We're still getting it. Things that, you know.
But it's about...
It's talking to us.
Yeah, so it's about an exchange.
So we're talking to you.
Well, then the water as well, you know, it was an exchange. It was passing us a gift.
Please.
The blood cells are gifts.
Say thank you to your fucking white blood cells, will you? I'm just going to keep going on about it. They're keeping you alive. And they're funny little men and women, and they run around inside you, and they're like, oh, come on, Bob, he's just had a bloody ice cream. Oh, for God's sake, let's go and tidy him up. It's like, oh, for God's sake. Oh, but bloody hell, the jibby jabbered. But, good news, the water is fighting back. In everybody. It will be in everybody.
Yeah. Right, we're going to go and energise some water.
Oh, we'll do a video about that.
I can't get enough
We
of
got
this
to
now.
fucking use it because it cost us £40 billion.
Yeah.
Bye.